Alright, here's the 74 MacGregor Venture 25. They had put some really crummy house paint on, and so I took that off with 80 grit sandpaper. It's pretty smooth. There's still some places like right here. I know you can't really see it with the camera, but I got some epoxy paint to do these tread areas, and I'm thinking about trying to polish the metal on the bumper rail and save that. And then the hull, I think I'm just gonna wax it, polish and wax it. I used toilet bowl cleaner to get a lot of the stains off, and it did a really good job. I mean, it still has some work to go, but one of the biggest problems is I lost the rudder on the freeway, so I picked this one up from Minnie's Yacht Supply down in Redondo Beach, I think it is. But it's not quite tall enough. You see the gudgeon or whatever, there's only about 5 inches, so then the member here is about 8 inches. So the tiller handle rubbed on the top of the transom. Of course, that's not what did this. I sanded that off, but you know, there's better than about 12 inches there. So I'm thinking what I might do is get a couple of pieces of metal like this, but wider, and just make a band and fasten them in so they stick up further, and move these puppies up so that this one at least is way up here on the member, and then attach this to the top of the member so the tiller will easily and comfortably fit into the cockpit, which is full of junk now, but it's looking a lot better than it was. I have some old pictures I think I can dig up, and I'll add them to the video. I also want to refinish this mast, at least take the paint off maybe, and do some other stuff to it. I read where some guy had polished it, and it came out looking like stainless. I imagine it's anodized underneath that paint. But anyways, it's pretty overcast today. Snow in the mountains is supposed to be coming right at us. We're supposed to be getting some snow. So I'm thinking I'm going to pick up a tarp big enough to cover this operation and try to run a heater under there. And see if I can maybe at least do it little sections at a time. Evidently somebody crashed into the boat here, or they dropped something heavy on it or something, so they decided to paint the whole thing, I guess. But it cleaned up pretty good. Oh, and I got this hardware here. I don't know what this stuff is, but I'd like to know. This thing here, I guess it's part of a mast raising system. I don't know, Elliptilock Professional something, Salinas, California. I'll have to look that up. But this is what's on the end of this, so I don't know what that could be. And then have this other deal here. It also has a tag on it here at the bottom. I don't quite know what it is. The text off the tag is gone. I think this is like a jib pole or something. And it looks like it might telescope out, I'm not sure. And then this here, I think this is a boom jack. I'm not sure, but I'd like to know what this is. You know, I'd like to know what that little thing's for. I got some questions, you know, about this stuff. I don't know what this is, but this was all stuff that was in the boat when I got it. And I'd like to know what it is. I want to clean this stuff up real good. It looks like this aluminum's been attacked by the elements, or maybe that's from usage, or I don't know. Maybe it's just a cool finish they thought was cool in the 80s. But the trailer's in pretty good shape. There's not a whole lot of rust on it, but there is some. It's mostly surface rust. The one of the rollers, there it is, has been bent down, and it's not doing anything. So I want to fix that, and I'll probably sand this frame down and repaint it, and hopefully I can stick a price tag on this puppy. You know, around a few $1,000s or something, you know, after you get it shining pretty and everything. And I believe this boom for the mainsail is it has a roller furling feature that I haven't tried yet. I was just luffing the sail. But next time I put the sails up, I'll check that part out. And I'm gonna put some new hardware, some new lights, you know, and this I guess that was for an anchor mount or something, I don't know, but I'd like to figure that out, how it works. I got a couple of anchors back here with some my outboards and stuff. And this is an old Elgin 12 that I can't figure out how to get running. So there's one of my anchors. And I got another anchor, nasty fenders. I'd like to know how to clean those real good. I haven't done yet. There's a smaller anchor. And I figured it'd be good to have two anchors on the boat. And then my Game Fisher 3 horsepower needs to be cleaned up, but it runs good. I think it's too small for this boat. Just a little. It does push it, but this whole thing needs to be reworked, because that Game Fisher, it doesn't reach down into the water quite like it needs to. Because when the waves are pushing the boat up, the motor dips out of the water. And I figure even if I did get this Elgin 12 running, that this would do the same thing, because the shaft actually looks shorter on the Elgin than on the Game Fisher. So any ideas on any of this stuff, I'd much appreciate it, especially the rudder, because that's the only thing stopping me from sailing it right now. I'd like to get it, you know, painted and get this nasty, ugly blue stuff off of here. So I got that. I got a particular epoxy that I'll include at the end of the video, and maybe somebody can tell me. And this is going to be fixed too, but maybe somebody can tell me if the epoxy that I picked is going to be the right one for it, and if it'll last. So there you have it. I appreciate your time. Thank you, Jesus. Fair winds. So now this video is about the bottom side. I think they used pretty cheap paint on this bottom, and it's not too bad. I think if I ran some 80 grit on there, that would take the rest of that stuff off of there. And I'm assuming that this is going to have to be repainted. Some of it's flaking off, but looky here, the keel now. I'm not sure what to do about this. That the rust actually doesn't look very deep at all. On the video it might look deep, but for the most part it's just on the surface. And actually I guess I could jump up in there and show you the pins. So I want to show you the pins. Okay, I don't know if you can see in there, but there's a bolt in there. That's the bottom one. The middle one here, I think this is for the lock, but you see how it's wallowed out? I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's from use. I don't think it's from use because I don't think this boat was used very much. And here's the top one, and it looks in really good shape. So there's a bolt in the bottom one, nothing in the middle one, but it's walled out. Bolt in the top is in really good shape. Now when I let this keel down last time I was out sailing, I know it went down, but I didn't think about locking it, because I didn't go very far. But I need to work that out. So any suggestions, ideas, I'd appreciate it. Thank you much. The wood on here, I'm not sure if this is teak or not. To me, it almost looks like a weathered pine, but I mean, it feels pretty solid. I'm sure these are teak. These are original, I'm sure. I'd like to know how to bring that stuff back to life. I don't guess they've ever been taken care of, really. And there's some other issues here, like the mast. These deals here, I don't know what this is called, but you can see down in there the end of it's all frayed and bent. And some of these pulleys are junk. Imagine this thing here is not cheap. But I guess the rope, or the lines rather, whichever. We're on land, so I'll call them rope. But they seem to be working pretty good and holding up. I mean, I went sailing with this thing like it is, and everything held up fine. So I'd like to refinish the mast and the boom and make them look nice, because I intend on reselling this boat, and it's just a way I can make some money, because well, I'll leave it at that. But I sanded off a lot of that house paint that they had put on, and since it's been uncovered in the weather out here for a couple days, it's kind of gotten a little dirty. But I want to put like a high gloss off-white, something real strong. I'm thinking maybe acrylic. I'm not sure. I'd like to get some suggestions on what type of material I should use to cover the white. As far as the blue, I have some epoxy, slate gray in color, which I hope is going to make this boat look a little more attractive and get all this garbage out of here. So there you have it. Thank you, Jesus. Fair winds.